Have you ever wondered how a man who once fervently persecuted Christians became one of the greatest apostles of the faith? Imagine a transformation so powerful that it changed not only his life, but also the destiny of millions of people across the centuries. What led Paul to abandon everything he knew to face terrible dangers out of love for Christ? Prepare to discover the secrets of this extraordinary journey that defies logic and touches the heart. Stay with me until the end of this video and uncover the surprising twists in Paul's life that can transform your own life in both the spiritual and material realms. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we will delve into the complete story of Paul, one of the most fascinating and influential characters in the New Testament. You will discover his tumultuous beginnings as Saul of Tarsus, a relentless persecutor of Christians, until his miraculous transformation on the road to Damascus and his tireless mission to spread the message of Christ throughout the world. But why does Paul's story still resonate so much today? What were the challenges and struggles he faced? How did he overcome his own weaknesses to become a central figure in the formation of the Christian church? Throughout this video, we will address these questions and many more, revealing the crucial moments that defined Paul's trajectory, his inspiring victories, his painful failures, and, above all, the valuable lessons we can apply in our own lives. Prepare yourself for an emotional journey that not only tells the story of a man, but also offers profound reflections on faith, redemption, and purpose. In the end, you will be invited to reflect on how Paul's journey can inspire your own quest for meaning and spiritual fulfillment. So don't waste time, and let's together unveil the incredible transformation of Paul in the Bible. Saul of Tarsus was born in Tarsus, a city located in Cilicia, a region that today corresponds to the southern part of Turkey. Son of a Roman citizen and a Jewish mother, Saul grew up in an environment where Roman culture and Jewish tradition intertwined. From a young age, he demonstrated an unwavering commitment to his religious roots, deeply immersing himself in the study of the Torah and the traditions of the Pharisees. Educated by Gamaliel, one of the most respected rabbis of his time, Saul acquired vast knowledge of the scriptures and Jewish laws. His dedication to studies was so intense that he became a fervent defender of religious purity, believing that the preservation of Jewish traditions was essential to his people's identity. However, this passion led him to adopt an extremely rigid stance towards the followers of Jesus of Nazareth, who at that time was seen by many as a threat to the established order. Saul gained notoriety for his zeal in persecuting the early Christians, believing that he was protecting the Jewish faith from a growing heresy. He saw Christians as rebels, challenging religious and political authorities, and spared no effort in convening trials and authorizing imprisonments. His determination led him to actively participate in various persecutions, being responsible for arresting and even approving the execution of those who professed the new faith. Despite his imposing appearance and fearsome reputation, there was a man in Saul who was deeply seeking the truth. His life seemed to be directed by a clear mission to eradicate what he considered a false doctrine. However, this conviction would be put to the test in an extraordinary way when a divine event would forever change his destiny and the course of Christian history. Saul of Tarsus's trajectory up to that moment was marked by a combination of religious fervor, academic discipline, and an unrelenting mission. He was known for his intelligence, persuasion, and argumentative skills, qualities that would later manifest in a surprising way during his transformation. This first chapter not only introduces us to the setting and circumstances of his birth, but also the forces that shaped his character and prepared the ground for the incredible transformation that was to come. After establishing himself as a staunch defender of Jewish religious purity, Saul of Tarsus intensified his efforts to eliminate what he saw as a growing threat, Christianity. His determination to suppress the new faith led him to carry out various ruthless actions against the followers of Jesus of Nazareth, solidifying his reputation as a merciless persecutor. Saul not only personally participated in persecutions, but also encouraged others to join him in this mission. He was present on several key occasions, including the stoning of Stephen, the first Christian martyr, where he played an active role in condemning and executing Stephen. This event not only reinforced his position among religious leaders, but also served as a stern warning to others considering following the new faith. His influence and authority allowed Saul to obtain special permissions to carry out mass arrests. On several occasions, he authorized the detention of Christians in different regions, demonstrating his ability to significantly affect the growth of the nascent Christian community. His approach was systematic and strategic, aiming to dismantle entire communities and disperse their members to prevent the spread of Jesus' ideas. Despite his rigidity and severity, there was complexity in Saul that few perceived. His religious zeal, although directed destructively, was genuine and grounded in a profound conviction to protect the Jewish faith. He saw his actions as a divine mission, believing he was fulfilling the will to preserve the true faith against dangerous heresies. However, this relentless persecution did not go unnoticed. The growth of Christians, despite attempts to suppress them, indicated that something greater was at play. The courage and determination of Jesus' followers, even in the face of adversity and persecution, began to attract the attention of many, including Roman authorities. The resilience of Christians, led by figures like Philip, James, and Peter, demonstrated that the movement was far from being eradicated. It was in this scenario of intense conflict and tension that Saul's destiny began to transform unexpectedly. His unwavering dedication to the Jewish cause was about to be confronted by an event that would change not only his life, but also the course of Christian history. The courage with which he persecuted Christians planted the seeds for his own transformation, setting the stage for one of the most powerful redemption stories narrated in the Bible. This second chapter portrays a determined and relentless Saul, whose passion and religious fervor drove him to acts of great impact. However, this same passion was about to be redirected in a way he could never have imagined, paving the way for the extraordinary conversion that would follow. Saul's trajectory, marked by action and conviction, was about to take a dramatic turn that would reveal the true power of faith and redemption. Paul's life as Saul of Tarsus was about to take an unexpected and extraordinary turn. Amid his relentless persecution of Christians, a journey he believed to be yet another mission of spiritual purification would lead him to one of the most decisive moments in biblical history, his conversion on the road to Damascus. It was an ordinary day when Saul, known for his strong determination, embarked on a trip from Damascus to Jerusalem. His goal was to arrest followers of Jesus and bring them back to be judged according to Jewish law. Little did he know that this journey would become the setting for an event that would transform not only his own life, but the entire Christian movement. As Saul traveled along the road, a bright and intense light suddenly enveloped him. This light, more powerful than any he had ever witnessed, instantly blinded him, plunging him into darkness. Falling to the ground, he heard a powerful voice saying, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Confused and terrified, Saul asked, "Who are you, Lord?" The voice replied, "I am Jesus whom you are persecuting, but get up, go into the city, and there you will be told what you must do." This miraculous encounter would leave Saul completely transformed. Fallen to the ground, he remained blind from the light, and his travel companions guided him to Damascus. There, for 3 days, Saul stayed without seeing, eating, or drinking, deeply reflecting on the experience he had just undergone. This period of isolation and introspection marked the beginning of his spiritual journey. Saul's conversion was not just a personal event, but a watershed moment for Christianity. From a relentless persecutor, he became Paul the Apostle, dedicated to spreading the message of Jesus Christ throughout the known world. This moment of divine revelation defied all expectations and conventions, demonstrating that true transformation comes from an encounter with the divine. Paul's change from Saul illustrates the power of redemption and grace. He went from a man consumed by anger and the desire to eradicate the Christian faith to a passionate leader committed to disseminating the gospel. This miraculous transformation continues to inspire millions today, showing that regardless of one's past, faith and determination can lead to a profound and meaningful transformation. In this 3rd chapter, we witness not only Saul's physical loss of sight, but also the spiritual gain that redefined his purpose and impact on the world. The road to Damascus was not just a geographical journey, but the path that led to his true mission, becoming a bearer of the light he had previously tried to extinguish. After the impactful encounter on the road to Damascus, Saul of Tarsus's life was definitively transformed. Immobilized by blindness and consumed by a profound spiritual experience, he found himself in a state of physical and emotional vulnerability. However, it was in this moment of fragility that divine mercy manifested in an extraordinary way, initiating his journey as Paul the Apostle. While Saul remained in the city still blind, 3 men sent by Jesus guided him daily to the local synagogue. These disciples, unaware of Saul's true identity and past as a persecutor, watched his attempts to understand what had happened to him. The Christian community in Damascus was eager to discover if that relentless persecutor had finally found salvation. Then Ananias, a respected and God-fearing disciple, received a divine vision. God instructed him to go to Saul, restore his sight, and instruct him to be baptized so that his sins would be forgiven. Despite Ananias's initial hesitations, fearing Saul's reputation as a persecutor of Christians, he faithfully obeyed the divine guidance. Ananias went to Saul and with words of encouragement and faith laid hands on him. Immediately, something like scales fell from Saul's eyes, completely restoring his sight. Sent by the Holy Spirit, Paul was baptized, symbolizing his purification and renewed commitment to God. This act of healing not only marked Paul's physical transformation, but also represented the removal of spiritual barriers that had prevented him from being a true follower of Christ. The Christian community in Damascus received Paul with great joy and celebration. He shared his powerful testimony about the encounter with Jesus, explaining how this experience had changed his heart and directed his life toward a new mission. For the first time, Saul was able to communicate his deep faith and understanding of the scriptures from a transformed perspective, surprising all who knew him as a fervent persecutor. Paul's miraculous healing and baptism were crucial events that laid the foundation for his future leadership in the Christian church. These occurrences not only validated the authenticity of his spiritual experience, but also served as a living testimony of God's power to transform even the most obstinate opponents into fervent defenders of the faith. Furthermore, this chapter highlights the importance of obedience and trust in divine guidance. Both Saul and Ananias demonstrated total surrender to God's will, even in the face of uncertainties and challenges. This example of unwavering faith inspires millions to trust in divine plans, even when paths seem dark and unpredictable. The transition from Saul to Paul, in this initial phase of his new life, illustrates the depth of redemption and grace. From a man who devoted his existence to suppressing the Christian faith, he became a living symbol of spiritual renewal and commitment to the mission of evangelizing. This fourth chapter offers an intimate view of human fragility and the transformative power of faith, establishing a solid foundation for the extraordinary achievements that would follow in Paul's life. After the miraculous transformation on the road to Damascus, Paul, formerly Saul, emerged as a fervent defender of the Christian faith. Determined to fulfill his divine mission, he quickly integrated into the emerging Christian community in Damascus and began planning his first missionary journey. This chapter narrates Paul's initial steps as an apostle and the challenges he faced in propagating the message of Jesus Christ. Paul's first mission aimed to take the gospel beyond the borders of Israel, reaching the Gentiles and expanding the reach of the Christian church. Alongside Barnabas, a respected disciple within the community, Paul embarked on his journey to Antioch, a cosmopolitan and vibrant city of the Roman Empire. This collaboration marked the beginning of a fruitful partnership that would be fundamental to the growth of the early church. In Antioch, Paul and Barnabas encountered a diverse and receptive community composed of Jews and Gentiles. They began preaching in the synagogues, sharing the message of redemption through Jesus. The initial response was encouraging, but also met with resistance. Many Jews saw Paul's preaching as a threat to established traditions and an affront to religious authorities. Conflicts arose, leading to persecution and the need for strategic reaction to continue their mission. Despite the obstacles, Paul demonstrated remarkable resilience. His eloquence and profound knowledge of the scriptures allowed him to connect with different audiences, adapting his message to resonate with both Jews and Gentiles. This ability to contextualize the gospel message was crucial for the success of his subsequent missions. In Lystra, for example, Paul performed impressive miracles in the name of Jesus, which strengthened his authority as an apostle and attracted large crowds, although they also fueled envy and opposition. In addition to external difficulties, Paul faced internal challenges, such as the need to balance his newly discovered faith with his past as a persecutor of Christians. He struggled to reconcile his old beliefs with the new worldview based on Christ, a conflict that often reflected tensions within the early Christian communities. However, his unwavering faith and determination to follow God's will kept him steadfast, even in the severest adversities. Paul's first missionary journey not only established new Christian communities, but also solidified his reputation as a visionary and dedicated leader. He helped found churches in strategic cities like Philippi, Thessalonica, and Berea, planting the seeds of Christianity in regions that were previously predominantly pagan. Every city visited, every sermon delivered, and every challenge overcome contributed to the expansion of the gospel and the formation of a network of interconnected churches. This fifth chapter highlights Paul's courage and perseverance in facing both external and internal adversities. His initial mission laid the groundwork for his future missionary journeys and the lasting impact he would have on Christian history. By overcoming persecutions, building deep connections with new converts, and adapting his approach to different cultures, Paul demonstrated that true faith transcends barriers and has the power to transform lives and entire societies. Paul's journey, marked by challenges and triumphs, continues to inspire generations to follow their own callings with courage and devotion. After the initial success of his first missionary journey, Paul was determined to continue expanding the reach of the gospel and strengthening the Christian communities he had helped establish. This chapter focuses on Paul's second missionary journey, an endeavor marked by new advancements, strategic partnerships, and significant challenges that tested his faith and resilience. Paul's second missionary journey began approximately a year after the return of his first mission. This time, he was accompanied by Silas, a respected leader within the church, following a disagreement with Barnabas over John Mark, who decided to return to Jerusalem. The separation, though initially painful, paved the way for new collaborations and strengthened Paul's determination in his mission. Together, Paul and Silas departed from Antioch, passing through regions like Syria and Cilicia, where they reinforced existing churches and resolved internal conflicts, promoting unity and cooperation among the new converts. Their journey took them to several important cities, including Derbe and Lystra, where Paul continued to perform miracles and preach fervently. In Lystra, for example, Paul healed a crippled man, which led the crowd to want to worship him as a god. However, Paul, along with Silas and Barnabas, redirected the worship to God, reaffirming the central focus of their mission. One of the most significant stops of this journey was in Philippi, a Roman colony in Macedonia. There, Paul and Silas faced severe persecution when they expelled the exorcists who were attempting to usurp the power of Christ. Even in the face of imprisonment and flogging, they remained steadfast in their faith, which resulted in the conversion of the jailer and his family. The epistle to the Philippians, written later, reflects the profound impact of this experience and the local community's gratitude for Paul's support and leadership. During the second journey, Paul also had the opportunity to strengthen his theological vision and the articulation of Christian doctrine. He began to systematically address issues such as justification by faith, the relationship between Jews and Gentiles in the church, and the importance of divine grace. These developments would be fundamental to his future epistles and the consolidation of early Christian thought. In addition to triumphs, Paul faced considerable challenges, including theological disputes, cultural resistance, and logistical difficulties of traveling through often hostile regions. Continuous persecution by religious and political authorities tested his determination, but also reaffirmed the importance of his mission. Through prayers, mutual support, and unwavering faith, Paul and his companions managed to overcome obstacles, establishing an ever-expanding network of Christian communities. Paul's second missionary journey was a period of significant expansion and strengthening of the foundations of the Christian church. He established new churches, fortified existing ones, and promoted a deeper understanding of the Christian faith among converts. This sixth chapter reveals not only Paul's external achievements, but also his spiritual and intellectual growth, which prepared him for the even greater challenges that lay ahead in his future journeys. In summary, this chapter illustrates Paul's tireless dedication, his ability to adapt and lead, and the enduring impact of his actions in disseminating the gospel. The second missionary journey was a crucial milestone in Paul's life, consolidating his role as one of the primary apostles and visionaries of early Christianity, whose teachings and examples continue to inspire generations to this day. After the significant success of his first two missionary journeys, Paul was determined to continue expanding the gospel's reach and consolidating the Christian communities he had helped establish. This seventh chapter focuses on Paul's third missionary journey, a deeply transformative endeavor that not only strengthened existing churches, but also faced unprecedented challenges that tested his faith and leadership. Paul's third missionary journey began approximately 3 years after the return of his second mission. He set out from Antioch, the main base of Christian missions, accompanied by Silas, Timothy, and this time, Luke, the beloved physician and faithful companion. This team amplified Paul's ability to travel and establish new communities, as well as provided the necessary logistical and spiritual support to face the challenges ahead. One of the most significant stops of this journey was in Ephesus, one of the largest cities of the Roman Empire and an important commercial and cultural center. Ephesus was famous for the Temple of Artemis, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and represented a conducive environment for the growth of Christianity due to its cultural and religious diversity. There, Paul spent a considerable amount of time preaching in the synagogues and the temple, demonstrating the power of God through miracles and profound teachings. His presence attracted large crowds, both curious and hostile, eventually leading to confrontations with local leaders and merchants who saw his message as a threat to traditional practices and the lucrative local trade. In addition to Ephesus, Paul visited other important cities such as Thessalonica, Corinth, and Capernaum. In Thessalonica, he faced severe opposition from Jewish leaders, resulting in conflicts that forced him to flee to Berea and then to Athens. In Corinth, his eloquence and ability to adapt allowed him to gain a robust and diverse community, where he remained for almost 2 years, teaching and strengthening believers. One of the crucial moments of this third journey was the visit to Miletus, where Paul was approached by Philip the Evangelist regarding the need to send financial aid to churches facing difficulties. Recognizing the responsibility to care for the communities he had helped found, Paul organized a large collection of donations during his stay in Ephesus, demonstrating his ongoing concern and commitment to the spiritual and material well-being of the believers. During this journey, Paul also wrote and shared several of his epistles, which would later become fundamental to Christian theology. Letters such as those to Titus and Philemon reflect his theological depth, pastoral care, and ability to address practical issues within Christian communities. However, the third journey was not without challenges. Constant threats of persecution, both from religious and civil authorities, required Paul to remain vigilant and adaptable. In Ephesus, for example, opposition from Demetrius the silversmith, who saw the growth of Christianity as a direct threat to his business, led to riots and public confrontations that tested Paul's resilience and leadership. Despite adversities, Paul's third mission significantly strengthened the established churches, cultivated local leaders, and established a network of interconnected and sustainable communities. His ability to face challenges with faith and perseverance inspired many to follow his example, expanding the gospel's impact throughout the Roman Empire. This 7th chapter highlights Paul's tireless dedication, his cultural adaptability, and his strategic vision for the expansion of Christianity. The third missionary journey not only consolidated previous achievements, but also laid the groundwork for Paul's ongoing mission, preparing him for the even greater challenges that would come in the following years. Through his leadership and unwavering commitment, Paul established himself as one of the foundational pillars in the consolidation and dissemination of early Christian faith, leaving a lasting legacy that would continue to influence future generations. Paul's journey from Saul of Tarsus to one of the most influential apostles of Christianity is a powerful narrative of transformation, faith, and perseverance. From his beginnings as a fervent persecutor of Christians to his miraculous conversion, on the road to Damascus, Paul exemplifies how divine grace can redeem and transform even the hardest of hearts. His 3 missionary journeys not only established Christian communities in various regions of the Roman Empire, but also consolidated theological foundations that continue to influence the Christian faith to this day. Throughout his missions, Paul faced numerous challenges, from severe persecutions and internal conflicts within newly formed communities to cultural and religious barriers imposed by pagan societies. However, his unwavering resilience, combined with a profound understanding of the Scriptures and a unique ability to adapt culturally, allowed him to overcome adversities and expand the gospel's reach in extraordinary ways. Through his epistles, Paul not only guided and advised the early churches, but also articulated essential theological concepts, such as justification by faith and the universality of divine grace. His strategic vision and inspiring leadership established a network of interconnected churches that served as pillars for the continued growth of Christianity. Paul's trajectory is a living testament to the power of personal transformation and the enduring impact that a single life can have on history. His dedication to spreading the message of Jesus Christ, even in the face of the greatest adversities, offers valuable lessons on faith, courage, and commitment. Paul not only changed the course of his own life, but also shaped the destiny of millions of people through the centuries.